Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply, and this video is to bring you a closer look at the Reese number S486APR. This is a bump-up style, panic style, or latch track style threshold. All those terms are used interchangeably for this sort of threshold. It's a great threshold. This is, in the world of thresholds, this is a sexy threshold. That's the bottom line. Why? Well, a lot of reasons. First of all, from Reese, notice the thickness of the extrusion. It just looks thicker than standard. And the reason is, it's because it is. This is a high-performance insert material. We'll get to that more in a moment. This is the type that is going to allow the door to bump up to the backside, making it very effective. And even the quality of the finish on the mill is excellent. The threshold is not really scratched in any way, and that small discoloration you see there is just because I touched it. This threshold, the S486 from Reese, features these ribs, or these small serrations that are here and here. I like that because it helps reduce, helps retard that lateral sort of movement that you'll see on a threshold. So in those regards, heavy-duty nature of the item, the dimensional properties, the quality of just the mill finish, which means nothing's been done to it. Okay, the caliber of the insert, the serrations down at the bottom, all collude to make an excellent caliber threshold. This is a prime example of why I'm partial to Reese. It's just their material is the best, or for sure very much among the best. Now, let's get into it specifically. This threshold, and there's an image below this video showing the dimensional properties, is 5-inch wide. The overall height is 3/4 inch over here, and then it's 3/8 of an inch down in here. So the common typical bump up style would be like 7/8 overall height, and then closer to 1/2 of an inch in here, because that would be much more compatible with a typical 3/4 inch undercut that you're going to have on a hollow metal door and frame. Now, you will use a slightly smaller one should the flooring condition or some sort of concrete situation or the door length has all conspired to not allow the installation of that common size. So if you find out that you've got no more than 1/2 of an inch from the bottom of the door to where the threshold resides, this is perfect for you. Okay. Now, it's a bump-up style, as we had said before. This has the, well, let's dissect the part number. S486 is representative of this part number. The A means mill aluminum finish, and it's available in the D finish as well, which is the dark bronze anodized. Same item, dark bronze anodized. The PR, that means that this is a black polyprene insert. So a synthetic rubber black insert. That's what PR stands for. Different variants of the insert, and you simply substitute for the PR the V for vinyl, the U for polyurethane. Polyurethane is a good option, and P for pile. You want a small, short little hair that's on there. What is the threshold used for? Well, obviously to have the door butt up against something quite obvious, a stop, and that's what it is. So a lot of clients simply want that sort of feature so that the door makes a very positive stop. Now, I always recommend that with this threshold, you add a door sweep out here, because you want the first line of defense to be on the exterior side of the door, not the interior, assuming this is an outswing door. So I like to add a door sweep out here to stop intrusion of temperature, elements, moisture. This is your insurance policy back here. Okay, that's the way that I like to approach it. Now, the other reason that this item is used is this very unique profile that's back here. This is where the word panic in the part number refers to. Imagine this scenario, and it doesn't apply to a 3-foot threshold like this, usually. It almost never does. But imagine that there's a big box store. On that back wall of the 100,000 square foot building, you've got 3 pairs of doors. They're all emergency exit. Those doors are equipped with surface vertical rod panic devices, door closers, weather stripping. Surface vertical rod exit devices. The panic feature to the extrusion down here at the bottom is specifically intended to allow that bottom latch assembly to literally latch against this face of the panic, allowing you to disregard the strike plate that would come with the panic device. So it's neat and convenient. You're going to get the weather benefit of the bump up style and the ability to handle your surface vertical rod exit devices. Now, it's very common that the threshold be used in that. It's more common that people just want a bump up style threshold and it coincidentally will happen to handle a surface vertical rod exit device. Okay? So that's where all that comes from. Now, this threshold is available in several lengths in the website, anything from 2 foot out to 8 foot. If you have need for a custom length, by all means, let us know by ordering the next longest piece or pieces, and simply indicate in the comment field what length you'd like for us to cut the material back to. Now, the reasoning is this. If you had to take this, well, this is a 3 foot piece, so it's not a great example, but if it was a 4 foot piece and you had to cut it down to 42 inch, you'd eliminate that first countersink that's there. And speaking of that countersink, screws are included. They look to be about a number 10 by 1.5 inch flathead wood screw, Phillips drive. So if you had to cut it down, you'd eliminate the countersink and the hole and the countersink. You're stuck cutting it, etc. It's not a big deal, and clients generally cut the thresholds down themselves to suit anyway. However, if you did not want to do that and you wanted us to send it out the proper length, that's great, because the Reese doesn't care what net length you want. They're cutting this out of 14-foot extrusions anyway. So if you ordered a custom length, indicate that in the comment field, what net length you want it to be sent out at. We'll locate that first countersink at the proper distance from the edge, and the proper center to center as well, naturally. Now, those serrations, speaking about installation, you've got the ability of this threshold, because of that feature, to bite down into the surface. Because of the nature of thresholds, there's a lot of lateral movement, and especially with a door closing up against it constantly, a lot of lateral movement tendency there. So what I like to do is, well, I seek out Reese thresholds that have that feature, and then I will go one better and use like a machine screw and then a lead expansion anchor, a lead anchor. And that combination of an incredibly solid installation fastening system, along with those serrations down here to bite into the floor when you tighten it down, really go a long way to giving you an incredible long-lasting longevity, expectation of longevity sort of installation. Obviously, you might want to run a bead of caulk down there. A lot of people will do that. A lot of times they won't. I personally would. I would give something down here to prevent that from, help keep moisture from getting in underneath. Now, the name Reese is synonymous with all things weather stripping related. There are a couple of links below this video I'd like to draw your attention to. First of all, the link to the product brochure. 2 pages that show the S486 and all of their sister products as it pertains, and specifically the S487, which is that model that's a bit more typical and common, okay, for hollow metal doors and hollow metal frames. Anywhere where a 5-inch wide threshold is compatible, this is a great option. That's going to include aluminum storefronts, although that's atypical, but not unheard of. That's going to include, obviously, hollow metal frames, and certainly wood frames as well. You don't see it often with a wood frame because generally those will come with an adjustable top threshold. But this is a great idea to add where it fits. Finally, there's a link below this video to the manufacturer's page where you can pull up the full line Reese catalog, all the Reese products we sell, and then a link to their website. Reese does a lot more than just thresholds, as you'll see in their catalog, but perimeter gasketing, door sweeps, material made of aluminum like this S486, stainless steel, and architectural bronze as well. If you have any questions on the Reese S486APR latch track style bump up threshold or any other Reese product, please feel free to reach out to us. Thank you.